Alright, what is up, guys? It's SS Sonic 901. I'm already messing up. It's SS Sonic 901 here, and I know I'm really late on this video, but I had stuff I gotta do outside of YouTube and all, so yeah, all this stuff is done. So now I'll give my thoughts about the E3 and all the press conferences, all the press conferences and all that right about now. Now let me start with Microsoft. Oh man, Microsoft, they definitely redeemed themselves from last year's fiasco. That last year was just terrible. We saw the DRM and all that. Really, the only thing good out of last year's E3 from Microsoft was Killer Instinct. And this year they really improved. They really redeemed themselves, most definitely. It's really only like four games that I was really not interested in. Well, I was interested in them, but like they sort of popped out the most to me. And the first one was Dragon Age Inquisition. That game, graphically it looks good. The gameplay looks like it's gonna be great. I'm gonna say that. And for some reason it kind of reminds me of Dragon's Dogma. The gameplay. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know how and why, but it just reminds me of Dragon's Dogma for some reason. I don't know. It's pretty odd, but that game looks like it's gonna be good, most definitely. And I'll probably be picking it up whenever I decide to get an Xbox One. Now the next game that piqued my interest was Crackdown 3. Even though it was a CG trailer, I'm still a huge fan of the Crackdown series. Really, the first game, it didn't even like get me into the series fully. It was the second game that actually got me like into Crackdown and everything. And like that's how that fandom kind of started. That's how all that kind of started. Yeah, after the second game. But yeah, I'm hoping this game is going to be good because we've been waiting a while for a new Crackdown game, and now that we're finally getting it, we're just only thing we can do now is hope that it's going to be good. And I'm probably not going to get on Xbox One. If it has a PC release, I'm most likely going to get it on that. But who knows? The next game, Sunset Overdrive. That game looks like it's going to be amazing. That game just looks like it's going to be a teenager dream for some reason. Like I don't know, it's like for some reason the game I kind of feel like a little 80s kind of vibe to it, like 80s teenager, something like that. I don't know how. I think it's like the way the main protagonist dresses or something like that. It just gives off like that 80s vibe or something to me. And like the gameplay, it looks amazing. Graphically, it looks amazing. One thing I want to say about the gameplay is for some reason it kind of reminds me of Infamous Second Son specifically. And I don't know why this is hard to explain for some reason because I don't know, it's something about it just kind of reminds me of Second Son. I'm not saying they're copying off of it, but I don't know, it's something about it, man. But anyway, the game still looks great. It looks like it's gonna be really good, and I'm really excited for that one, even though it's like the third place on the games that actually piqued my interest or whatever. And the last game, at first I was okay. For the last game, at first I really wasn't like into this game when they were showing the trailer or whatever. But then when Conquer showed up, that's what really got me into. That's what had me thinking like, yeah, I'm most definitely gonna get this game now. The Project Spark. When Conquer showed up, that's what sold me for that entire game. Cause now, I mean, I'm a huge Conquer fan as well. I mean, oh my goodness, after Conquer after Conquer's A Bad Fur Day. Oh my goodness, after that game, I freaking love Conquer. I didn't find like I couldn't never find like any memorabilia or anything like him at any like game stores or anything like that. That was kind of surprising for me, but and then Live and Reloaded came out on the original Xbox. Sadly, I passed that game up one time when I was thrift store. When I was going out thrifting, matter of fact. I wish I hadn't done that because the game's not there no more. So I don't know who got it, but whoever got it, I'm lucky that. But anyway, back to Project Spark. So now basically we can make our own like Conquer's Live and Reloaded Part 2 or something like that. And I think really added that for that game, that's probably what sold everybody the most was Conquer coming up and then saying he's in the game, you can play as more, anything like that. Other than that, that's all I have to say about the Microsoft press conference. Okay, on to Sony. I gotta say Sony did the worst out of this year. Sony did the absolute worst out of this year. okay, first I'm talking about the good. The good was the Order 18. I think it was 1886, 1896, or something like that. That game looked amazing. That game looked like it's really gonna make the PS4 sell a lot. Voice crack. But that game makes it looks like it's really gonna sell a lot of PS4s. I mean, even though they have the Destiny bundle that comes with the, I think it was PlayStation Plus or whatever, the white PS4. But I mean, I don't know. Oh, it's good that it's come with Destiny and all, but I mean, come on, guys. It's nice that you're showing off a bundle, though. I'll say that. That was kind of nice. But anyway, the Order, which that game was out of the whole show, piqued my interest the most. And then second is their Bloodborne game, Blood Core, something like that. And kind of when I was watching it, I kind of had like it's kind of weird. I'm gonna bring anime into this, but when I was watching it, I was getting like a Resident Evil and a Vampire Knight top vibe to it for some reason. That probably makes no sense to me. I know a lot of people are probably like, "What in the world is Vampire Knight?" It's an anime. I definitely recommend it. I think it's like only 2 seasons, but it's really good. Yeah, I definitely recommend watching that. But yeah, I kind of got this Resident Evil kind of vibe and Resident Evil Vampire Knight kind of vibe to the game for some reason. But anyway, the game it looks like it's gonna be really good. It looks like it's gonna be a definite must get for the PS4, or if it's not a multi-plat like how some of those games are. Like, but okay, so really that's all the good I have to say about that press conference. Now on to the bad. Oh man. First off, they showed. I think they tried to steer. They didn't really steer close to like their exclusives. They tried to steer a little bit more to the indie games, which I mean that's not bad at all. I mean it's good that you're actually like promoting these games for the developers and everything. But like you shouldn't base your whole conference around indie games, especially indie games that are like look really uninteresting. But besides one, that No Man's Sky, I actually thought that game looked kind of good, like graphically and gameplay wise. I'm definitely going to check that out. If it's not good, I'm usually disappointed. But anyway, like you shouldn't center around your whole conference about indie games, especially if they're like uninteresting. And you shouldn't like if you're gonna talk about your portable console, you shouldn't talk about just one game for it. And one game that we've all seen is like it's no big deal or anything like that. And that was Minecraft. I mean, I don't get why it was already announced. Matter of fact, why would you just announce it again as if it's brand new when most of us already knew it was coming out because it was announced like I think earlier this year, like in I think it was December. Matter of fact, no, it was later than December or something like yeah. But and after that they showed The Last of Us is coming to PS4, GTA 5 coming to PS4. Matter of fact, hold up, I'm about to go on a rant real quick. Why in the world would you rebuy GTA 5 if you already have it on a last generation console like PS3 or Xbox 360? Like, what's the point? And what's the point in getting it for Xbox One or PS3 if you have a PC that can run the game? Everyone knows I don't care about GTA 5 on the PS3, 360, PS4, Xbox One. And then when I heard it was coming to PC, that's when I was like, oh my goodness, now I have a reason to like this game now. Because, okay, look, overall, the PC is going to have better graphics on PC. It's going to have a modding community. That's really the only two points I have to make right there. It's going to look better on PC, regardless what anybody has to say. And then it's going to have a modding community. Now, we all know what PC gamers can do with mods. Hey, y'all know I'm not a PC elitist or like I'm not a straight PC gamer, but I still believe that PC it is the master race and all that for gaming and yada yada yada. But we all know that game's gonna look the best. It's probably gonna play the best. And now that we have a modding community for that game, well, we don't have it just yet, but we're gonna have one for that game. Yeah, like after looking at that, it's like really no point in getting it for consoles or anything like that because it's like, what's the point? But anyway, let's see. I think that's all I have to say. Uncharted 4 didn't really amuse me that much. Well, it did, but because I am a big Uncharted fan, so I'm kind of excited for that game a little bit. But it didn't. It was just a CG trailer. I was worried more about gameplay than a trailer because it was already announced. And then I think that's about it. I think that's about it. I'm gonna drop my mic. I'm only taking one. I'm only doing one take. But anyway, I think that's about it. Uh, well, yeah, nothing else. I have nothing else to say about the Sony press conference. But let's move on to who I believe won the show. I think they took the show, and they just ran with it. Nintendo. Oh my goodness, Nintendo did. They didn't do amazing. They did extravagant this year. Nintendo, I like. Okay, first off, I really like what they did with the digital event because if you have all your stuff already like pre-recorded and like don't have to do all this editing and all that, you have a lesser chance of like messing up or have something go wrong, like the system mess up or something like that. And another thing is, I like how they did with the Robot Chicken skits or whatever. I actually thought those were like pretty funny, especially when the dude in the crowd kept asking about Star Fox and Mother 3. Where is Mother 3, matter of fact? Yeah, I really want that game, but I thought that was pretty funny. And that whole Reggie vs. Iwata thing for Super Smash Brothers, I thought that actually looked pretty cool. Like they did really good on that. And then we saw the gameplay. We saw the Mii fighters, which I'm probably gonna, out of all the characters in that game, I think I'm going to main Little Mac most definitely. My backup character will probably be my Mii fighter and Zero Suit Samus. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. But yeah, the Smash Brothers, they showed the little amiibo thing, which they didn't really pique my interest that much. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool, but it's kind of gonna be a little OP, and probably if you try to bring that into like a competitive scene a little bit. But mostly, I think most likely they're gonna be good for like collecting. That's really probably what I'm only gonna do with them. I'm probably just gonna collect them. But I don't know. What about you guys? Just tell me in the comments. But yeah, they showed us Xenoblade Chronicles X, and that game. Oh my goodness, that looks like it's gonna be one of the best JRPGs of the year. Like, okay, I'm gonna say this is only. This is probably only for me. It kind of reminds me of a bit of Gundam mixed with Lost Planet 2 probably, yeah, Lost Planet 2. For some reason, it just reminds me of that, and that's not really a bad thing. I think that would be interesting. And Xenoblade Chronicles, it definitely did look interesting. Like the game did look amazing on the Wii U. And what else? The gameplay looked like it was gonna be pretty good. And the next thing, I'll tell you the best. I don't think they showed the mech. I'm trying to remember if they did or not. I don't know, but in the other trailer, when it was like just called X, the mechs did look like pretty good. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that game. On to the game that sold me out of that whole show, Bayonetta 2. Oh man, Bayonetta 2. Man, that game freaking sold me. I've been waiting so long for a second Bayonetta game. After the first one, I loved the first one too bad. I didn't lose it, but I traded it in like a. Man, I was retarded that day. I shouldn't have traded that in. I'm about to get it back though. Trust me. Well, yeah, I'm about to get it back. But Bayonetta 2, man, that gameplay, 60 frames. I think it was 60 frames per second. I messed it all up. I think it was 60 frames per second or 30 frames per second, but it was one or two. The game, it was running nice. It looked nice. I'm really excited to play. I'm really excited to try out that little co-op mode because I'm competitive in certain games, but then there's certain games I like to buddy up with somebody and then I just play like as friends or something like that. I'm really excited about that co-op. I'm really excited about that game period. And plus, not only are we getting Bayonetta 2, but we're getting Bayonetta 1 packaged in with it. And along with Bayonetta 1, you get these extra costumes, like one for Peach, one of Peach, one of Link, and then one of Samus. So Bayonetta, she's gonna be dressed as those three characters. And like the suits, they actually have a purpose. Like they're not there just for decoration. You can actually use the suits like. You can use Samus's little arm beam or whatever. You can use Link's sword, and for the Peach costume, you know how she has like the little demon or whatever she can summon. Like instead of that demon, it's gonna be Bowser. But that's what it looked like in the trailer. That was obviously Bowser in there. And yeah, like that. Oh my goodness, I'm so hyped for that game, man. And last but not least, the game that was overall the best graphically and looked like it was gonna be amazing. It's open world too. That new Legend of Zelda game, oh my goodness! I think this is the game that is gonna really make the Wii U sell. I think this is the game that Nintendo has been holding off, not holding off on, but waiting to announce for a good minute now. We have a gorgeous Zelda game that is gonna be open world, kind of like I heard people say it's gonna be kind of like Skyrim a little bit, but that I don't really mind as long as they still keep like the real Zelda gameplay and all that little care and all that other mess. Like I know I heard some people say that Link kind of look like a girl, but I kind of see it, but at the same time, like why would that be a big deal? I mean, I don't care. It's still a Link. We all know that. But yeah, that game. Oh my goodness, that game. It almost sold me to, but Bayonetta 2 sold me already. So I was like, gotta go with Bayonetta. But I'm still hyped for that game too, and I'm also hyped for its spin-off. Well, it's not the spin-off of that game directly, but Hyrule Warriors, which is basically Dynasty Warriors mixed with Zelda. That game, at first I thought was gonna be kind of repetitive. Dynasty Warrior games are kind of repetitive, but they're still playable in their repetitive aspect or whatever you can say about that. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna get that because that game you can play as what's her name, Zelda's what's the name, was her guard or something like that. You can play as her. Hopefully they put Sheik in here. I really want to see Sheik in Hyrule Warriors. If they put Sheik in there, oh my goodness, I'm be so hyped. So hype. I'm already hyped for it. I'm be so happy if they put Sheik in there. But man, that it looked amazing. It looked better than the trailer we first saw about it. Then when we saw more gameplay, we realized how fun it looked, and everybody that played it said it was really fun. It was really good to play. It was really smooth and all this other stuff. Uh, but yeah, they didn't really show much about 3DS. We saw Pokemon Alpha and Omega. I mean Alpha and Omega. Yeah, I think it's Alpha Sapphire, Omega Red. Something. Yeah. I was right. But yeah, they showed that, and they showed what was that one game? Steam. Yeah, that big announcement for 3DS. That was Steam. Uh, it's like it's little like it's like a shooter, but it's a strategy shooter, something like that, or strategy RPG. It looks really good. I mean, I saw the gameplay of it. The sound was pretty good. The gameplay looked like it was even better. And I was like, you know what? I'm definitely gonna pick this up for my 3DS, and I'm picking up Pokemon as well. And yeah, let's see. The last game I'm really gonna talk about, even though they didn't really show it much, was Star Fox. Star Fox for Wii U. Oh my goodness, man. We have waited so long, and we finally get a new Star Fox game. I'm really happy Nintendo listened to their fans. And matter of fact, I'm gonna take it off track for a little bit. I'm glad Microsoft did too, because they saw how crappy the Kinect was and everything. So I'm glad they actually listened this year. Anyway, back on track. But Nintendo, they actually listened. They listened to us, and now we have a new Star Fox game. Even though when Miyamoto was playing it, it was blurred out. We could still tell that was Star Fox. And plus, even before they showed it, it was already leaked anyway. So I was like, well, get hyped for a new Star Fox, even though they didn't really show much about it. But yeah, well, that's pretty much all I have to say about this year's E3. So far, if I had to rate like who did the best, it'd probably go from Nintendo first, second Sony, and then dead last. I take that back. Nintendo first, second Microsoft, and dead last Sony. Sony was just, I don't know. Let's give them a chance next year. Hopefully they'll do something better than what they did with this year. But yeah, overall Nintendo stole the show. I'm really hoping that next year, I'm really hoping that Sega somebody gets back into the game, because Sega has been like, they've been out of the console game for a good minute after the Dreamcast. So I'm really hoping those guys make a comeback or something like that. Hopefully they bring out a Dreamcast too, which I really want that. I heard rumors about that, and oh my goodness, if they actually make that, I'm be too hype. But yeah, really that's all I have to say about this year's E3. So far, it was pretty good. It wasn't the best, but it was decent. It was watchable. We saw some good things, we saw some bad things, but overall, it was pretty good. Tell me what you guys thought about this year's E3. So this has been SS901 signing out.